moving on. Speaking of the zone completely failing here, guys, right? The return of the GOAT, the Rat King himself, Srisaket Sor Rungvisai, guys. He's back. He's back, guys. Thank fucking God.
But if you wanna find me, please just send me location. Send me location.
Send me location. And the location's not the zone, it's YouTube. Shout out to Matchroom for this. This was a good fight, in my opinion. Good comeback fight for Rungvisai. And honestly, I think, if anything, it being on YouTube is awesome because it's fucking free. I don't want to pay money for fights anymore. Like, I'm of the mindset that fights should be as open to the mass public as possible, especially good fights, and especially good fighters. And Rungvisai Runarag is a kind of a throwback fight because Runarag has been a guy that's been up and down forever. He went back to the Olympics and everything. Clearly a tune-up fight in a way, but one that makes sense, one that still has name value even as the B-side. And Rungvisai has been off for a while. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him back. And plus, who knows what happens with Estrada Gonzalez? Because I know Eddie Hearn keeps saying he's trying to make that fight happen, but Gonzalez wants $1 million. And if you're asking Canelo Alvarez to take steep pay cuts, there is no way DAZN is paying Roman Gonzalez $1 million guaranteed. It's just not happening, right, guys? So I doubt we get Estrada Gonzalez. And I honestly doubt Rungvisai asked for Gonzalez money. Even though I love Rungvisai, I don't think he thinks he's the star that Gonzalez is. And he probably isn't the star that Roman Gonzalez is, right? So it does make sense. I could see an Estrada Rungvisai rematch, trilogy fight, right? Instead of the Estrada Gonzalez rematch. That would not be shocking. And it would still be a fantastic fucking fight. No doubt about it. The fight guy saying today another UFC banger for free. I know it's a good card today. Quick caveat to you guys because I have all of you guys listening here. I was gonna do another show right after this. I was gonna do an MMA UFC show right after this, discussing UFC 251 pay-per-view numbers, sort of the Fight Island events that I haven't really reviewed yet. Like Calvin Kattar, Davison Figueiredo, etc., right? And obviously kind of quickly preview this Darren Till card against Robert Whittaker. And I was thinking of doing a post-fight show that was very quick. Would you guys be down for that? Would you guys want me to consolidate those two MMA shows into one show and just do all that MMA news and stuff? And tonight, when I review Whittaker Till, let me know, guys. Because I do want to provide some good content for you guys and more content moving forward as we are seemingly getting combat sports back and running in a lot of ways. So I do want to provide great content for you. So again, let me know in the chat. Rotary. Tyson over Canelo all day. Oh my God. Yo, Canelo Alvarez would whoop Mike Tyson's ass right now. Just gotta say that. Moving on, though. Last news topic, and we're going to get into the Vergil Ortiz fight very quickly. Ryan Garcia, it's not really a big news, but Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell apparently have a offer for later this year. Negotiations are ongoing between Golden Boy and Matchroom per Mike Coppinger. So I am curious to see what happened here. Rob, shout out to Rob in the chat, saying just do a Joyce live fight chat and make it rain on MCR Towers. But Joyce is on ESPN Plus. Rob, is the fight on YouTube or something? Send me a link or something because I think I checked and it was on ESPN Plus. So I want to watch the Joyce fight, even though he's fighting no one. But I always watch Joyce. Izzy Whittaker tonight? No. Not Izzy Whittaker. Darren Till Whittaker. Not Israel Adesanya. No. Izzy already beat up Whittaker. Come on, PD. Come on. Rob, why don't you do a Joe Joyce live fight chat, man? Okay, you have access. Is it on ESPN Plus? No, it's not. I just checked. I'll check again. I'll check my PS4 and everything. Okay, you can do a live chat with me. Okay, don't deny it. Okay, you know you want to, so get off your ass. Stop being lazy. Stop letting Lewis take over your studio. It's okay. Shit, let me go to ESPN Plus really fast. But Rob, if I'll do some Joe Joyce content if you join me. But you're too busy, I guess. ESPN. PD saying, I thought Izzy was fighting Polo Costa tonight. No, that's later this year. I don't know if it's 100% official, but I know they semi-announced it. I think it's October. Could be wrong about the month and the date, but that is happening. It's not today. Today is Darren Till versus Robert Whitaker. Shit, it is right there. Fuck, I'm wrong. Yo, and Nija's wrong too, because she told me it wasn't on ESPN either. Where'd you go, Nija? I got the sound on too. I should probably go turn that off really fast. Oh well. Anyways, let's move on. Let's briefly talk about the fights that happened last night. Vergil Ortiz beat up Samuel Vargas and knocked him out TKO in the 7th round. It was devastating how violent Ortiz was, in particular, how unrelentless, or I should say relentless he was. He was just such a violent offensive force. And, I still have issues with some of his game in terms of like a defensive standpoint, but it almost doesn't matter, right? Like in the same way, like a Leo Santa Cruz on the come up, it didn't matter that his defense wasn't always perfect because he threw so much and it was always with such violent intent. It's similar to that, but Ortiz has far more power pound for pound than Leo Santa Cruz, right? But he throws a ton of punches around. His output's insane. That's always going to leave him open to counters. It's going to leave him open to get hit because he was hit, I thought, a little bit too much by Vargas. But he did everything else right. Like, from an offensive standpoint, like, he's almost perfect. There's a few things. He gets a little bit wild and loose at times, but I don't think he throws the left hook nearly enough as he should. I think he's a little bit too right-hand happy. But, again, very minor things here, right? It's not like Ortiz is, we look at Ortiz and say, oh, he's not ready for the big time. It's like, no, he's ready for the big time. He might lose in a firefight with a guy like Keith Thurman or Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford, but it's hard to make the argument now that he is not technically ready for some real top-level competition. I think he is. I saw in the chat saying Ortiz got no sauce, nothing special. I push back on that a little bit because I think he is a lot like a Mikey Garcia, obviously, stablemates, etc. There's going to be a lot of similarities between them in terms of really mastering the fundamentals and just sort of honing on that. But Ortiz has a mean streak that I think a lot of basic fighters don't have, or, technically fundamental fighters don't have, right? He's not a defensive wizard. He's not a guy that's going to make you slip a lot. He's not a guy that's very tricky anyway. He's not unorthodox. Even with his defense is very much just block, absorb shots. His offense is very much just come forth, throw a lot of combinations, a lot of very straightforward combinations too. There's nothing that's shocking about him. There's not a lot of uppercuts and mixed in, stuff like that. And like I said, I don't think he throws enough left hooks. He's very much jab, a lot of right straights. But I do see all of the tools to make a championship caliber fighter. I do see all the tools to give a lot of these top guys issues, if not beat them. Like, I would love to see a Ordonis Ugas fight, a Danny Garcia fight. I would love to see a Thomas Delorme fight. I would love to see a Jesse Vargas fight. I would love to see those fights. And then fight the Keith Thurmans, the Manny Pacquiaos, the Earl Spence, the Terrence Crawfords, the Sean Porters of the world. He's ready for that next step up to the next step. And plus, he's so young. Like, I really don't want to get too hyperbolic on him because I feel like Gary's just somewhere listening and just smiling and grinning ear to ear, and I don't like that. I want him to be sad. Ortiz is somebody that right now, if you throw him in there with Spence, Crawford, Sean Porter, Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman, he would lose probably. But again, he is not far from that. He's a fight away. I've seen a lot of people ask for a Rashidi Ellis fight. I would like both guys to not fight each other and fight more established names respectively. If both of them fought the Delormes, the Sergey Lipinets of the world. We have Lipinets, Epikadorov happening soon. If Ortiz fought the winner of that fight, I would love that. That would be an awesome fight. Those types of fights make a lot of sense for me in terms of a matchmaking perspective. Speaking of matchmaking, let's talk about this god-awful idea to put Miranda Atkins up there against Vanessa Estrada. Because Estrada went up there in 7 seconds and just iced her in 2 combinations. And then DAZN stuck a camera in Atkins' unconscious face for like 30 seconds. It was weird. It was nasty. Shout out to Estrada to at least be respectful in the knockout, not celebrating until she knew that she was okay. This fight should not have happened. Miranda Atkins has never beat anyone that has won a fight. Repeat that. I feel like that's lost when I say that to some people. Miranda Atkins, even though she's 5-0, all 5 wins have come against people that have never won a professional fight in their life. How the hell did this person get matched up and was allowed to be matched up through Andy Foster from the commission, from Roberto Diaz, the matchmaker? Even though it was a late notice opponent shift, I understand that. I get it. How did they allow this to happen? For Estrada, a person of 20 years of boxing experience, who's how many fights? 19-0 now, but she was 18-0 walking into that fight. How the hell did this get allowed through the commission? How is this acceptable? It makes no sense. Everyone involved in making this fight should be ashamed of themselves. And it's not to throw any shots at Estrada. She's just a fighter, and all the blame should be at Golden Boy and the commission here. And maybe even more so the commission. They're the ones that should be policing this stuff. How the hell did Andy Foster allow this? But then again, he's allowing Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. to fight. So, the fuck does Andy Foster care about? Ridiculous. Shane Mosley Jr. picked up a win. I have no thoughts about Shane Mosley Jr. I will leave it at that. Hector Valdez, undefeated guy. I know Gary's kind of hyped on him. I thought he looked decent. He might be a good regional guy. He might be like a poor man's Lewis Ritson. But that's kind of what I see. He's a regional guy. And he threw with a lot of mean intention. I like the way he threw shots, his technique with it, his violence with it, but the volume wasn't there. I don't think the boxing IQ is there at all. So, kind of just an okay card. It was an Ortiz card. It was the Ortiz event, let's be honest. It was all to promote Vergil Ortiz because they couldn't promote Ryan Garcia, and they wanted to upset Ryan Garcia, so they promoted Ortiz more. It is what it is. But guys, that's going to be it for today's show because I'm going to be right back out of here, or right back here, I should say, soon. I'm going to be coming back. What time is it right now? So 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, people. 2 o'clock. So 30 minutes. I'll be back here talking MMA and UFC news. And plus, Rob said and everyone else has said, there's fights on right now. There's fights on today. So I'm going to be trying to give you guys content for those fights. Joe Joyce card. I'll be trying to give you guys content for the UFC card later tonight. So stay on the lookout for that. Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, on all social media platforms. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hit the like button. Share the show. Subscribe. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Have a great day, great night, evening. Peace.